Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Friday Sews. My name is Tanya and this is the channel where we create the atmosphere for you to celebrate your grace, beauty, and style. Now Friday Sews was created by Jen at Today in Jen's Sewing Room so that we can talk a little bit about sewing and a little bit about life. And to bring the sewing community together so that we can share what we are working on week by week. Well, I am so excited to share with you my make this week. It's the dress that I have on, and I'm also going to share with you some challenges that I had along the way. So let's get started. Let's get into this pattern, Simplicity 9781. There you have it. And let's see here. I did view A. My intentions was not to do view A. I wanted to do the top portion of view B and have the length of A, but while doing B, I had some challenges which I will share with you. Let me show you the line drawings right there. So you see that you have to cut two pieces in the back on the top and the bottom. But in the front, the top portion is two pieces and the bottom is on the fold. And I made some adjustments with all of that as well. Some of the suggested fabrics are batiste, crepe, double georgette, ITY knits, jersey, rayons, silky types. And you're also going to need a lightweight interfacing for the facing piece here in the front. Let's see, this envelope goes from a size 8 to a size 16, and I end up going with a size 14. I did do a muslin with this. I just wanted to do the top portion as a muslin, and I'll show you that as well. So the bust size from an 8 to a 16 for this envelope. Finished garment measurements is a size 40.5 for the size 8, all the way up to the size 16, which was a 47. And I just selected the size 14, which was the 45-inch bust. And at first I started to select the size 12, which was a 43 size bust, because I'm using a knit fabric. So usually with a knit fabric, I can go down a size because it stretches. Now, when I was doing my muslin, I had some complications with that. I put the pieces on wrong. I don't know how I did that, but this is what I was working with my muslin here. Okay. And I end up not putting them together the right way. But then when I did try it on and try to put the side pieces together, you could tell there wasn't much room around the bust. So when I decided to cut out my good fabric, I did go up the size to a size 14. Now I started off making the view B, and with view B there is a small collar piece around the top. That is where I was having some challenges, and I think I was only having those challenges because I was using knit fabric. So here you have, so you see it's like a collar stand, so to speak, here, and then you had to do another piece to flip over, and it was coming along just fine, but the flimsy fabric of a knit to me wasn't working all that well with that type of collar. And you see in the front here, I was having some challenges with flipping that over. It was like too much bulkiness was going on over here. So I said, let me stick to easy and let me just do view A with the V-neck. Now, the lovely feature about this pattern is the back. You get the nice surprise of the gathering in the back. So it really looks nice overall in the back, giving it some kind of feature and definition in the back. I showed you this fabric last week, and the fabric was already two-tone, right? So to cut this on the fold, my front and my back wasn't matching up to the different pattern pieces. So what I end up doing for the skirt part of it, I flipped it over. So my back side of my skirt is in the front. So you'll see the 2 pieces cut in the front. And then my front piece is what was cut on the fold is on the back side. So now it lined up with the pattern pieces. So when you see the long view of this, you're going to notice that it all flows together. And I absolutely love how it turned out. Now, I did have a little challenge with the back here, but you just want to take your time. It just takes a little extra time to do that. But other than that, it was an overall easy make. There's also supposed to be a little split here on the sleeve. I opt out of doing that. I had sewn right through the seam. And I said, well, I'm not going to unpick it and try it because I sewn it. But then as time went on, I said, well, let me take the time to try it. And I unpicked the little area where the split was supposed to be. And I was having too many challenges. So I said, you know what? Let me sew this back up. And I'm good with not having the split. Turned out just fine. I love it. So let me give you the full view of this in motion. There were a total of, let's see, 6 pattern pieces. You had the front, the back, and then the skirt front and back. That's 4. And then you have a facing for the front, and there's a neck, back neck facing as well, a small little piece. So not bad with the pattern pieces. It is marked as easy. For the most part, it is easy, but like I said, take your time when working with the back gathers. And then this area too, you want to take your time with stitching down to your dot that is marked on the inside of your fabric. I actually use some hem tape to tack this down versus sewing this. You know, this material, it feels more like a jersey knit or an ITY knit. It was a little too slippery to kind of sew any top stitching per se. And on the hem as well, I also used some hem tape there. Wherever my seams were at the hem and even at the top here, I did hand sew it down just in case that hem tape comes up for some reason. So when you take a look at this, it almost appears that there is a separate pattern piece on the sleeve, but it's not. It's actually folded under, and it's a whole 2 inches where you have to stitch. So it appears to be a separate like flounce piece, but it's not. So as you see there, that is about a 2 inch where your stitching goes. If you can see it a little bit better on this side. You've got your 2 inches there. It's just one piece, one continuous piece there. One other change that I made to this pattern, I brought this V up about 1 inch. And the next time that I make this, I'm going to keep the V as is because I'm thinking if it came down to here, it wouldn't be too low. It'll still be okay. But I did bring it up about 1 inch here. That was another change that I made. I mentioned last week, I specifically made this dress for work, so I'm excited to be able to wear it when I go to work on Tuesday, because that's my office day. So I have a yard and a half left of this fabric. I got this fabric from Fine Fabrics here in the Atlanta area. So because I have so much left, I'm going to use this Burda. Let's see, what is the number? Burda 6540. And I'm going to use view A. It only requires a yard and a half of fabric, so that's what I'm going to use with what I have left over. And now a little bit about life. So I had a small little situation to happen at work this week. I guess I can look back at it now and laugh about it, but at the time, not so much. I was walking up the stairs holding my laptop because I had to go ask someone a question who was downstairs to show them the information on my laptop. And I'm walking up the stairs. I made it all the way up the stairs, and I felt like someone snatched my legs right underneath me, and I fell. I mean, full body fell to the ground. There happened to be somebody who was walking by and saw it all take place, which was good because she was able to help me up. And I must have made a sound because someone behind the partition there when you come up the stairs is our finance team. So a guy came running around the corner and they're helping me up, and I'm just laid out on the floor. I couldn't believe, like, how did that happen? I didn't trip on the stairs. I was already on top of the stairwell there, and somehow I must have slipped and fell. And yes, it hurt. Not embarrassed at all, but because I was in pain at the moment. So I end up filing a incident report. I think I'm okay, but because I filed a report, if anything later on comes out of it, I'll be able to refer back to that report. You know, and within that report, it asked the question, what would you have done to prevent the situation? And I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing, I could not have avoided it, because it's not like I was running up the steps or walking fast. Somehow I just slipped. So I don't know if the floor was slippery, could have been my shoes were slippery. I don't know. But I didn't know how to answer that particular question of how I could avoid the situation. So I just put unknown. I don't know how I could have done that. So just wanted to share that with you, but I'm okay and still rocking and rolling, just a little sore on my one side, but we're all good. So I thank you all for joining me on this episode of Friday Sews. If you have made it this far, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm looking forward to this easy make of this shirt for Burda for next week. Oh, also, if you have not ordered your magazine from Sewn magazine yet, I'm going to put all the details in the description so you can order your magazine. You have to pre-order it. Once it's printed, if she has some extra copies, you'll be able to order it. But she gets that count ahead of time, and then that magazine is shipped out to you. It's going to be all veterans in the October issue of Sewn magazine, and I will be featured in that, so I'm excited about that. But don't forget to pre-order so that you'll have that. And it's a lovely magazine. I know that I showed you that already. Let's see. This is what it looks like. It is full colored all throughout the magazine. So it's a great, nice resource to have, featuring home sewists. And thank you to all of my subscribers and new subscribers for joining me on this edition of Friday Sews. So everyone have a lovely day.